All right, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are here in this great land of ours. Welcome into Jammin' Sports on this Saturday. We have a kind of an interesting schedule for you here today. We're going to do a doubleheader this afternoon and wrap up Week 15. We'll take a break, and then we'll do at least a doubleheader this evening to start Week 16, as we're trying to get the season finished by the end of the month, before I have to go on a week and a half hiatus because of the fair and everything. So we're trying to get these games in as quickly as we can. All right. Due up first, it'll be the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. Dallas comes in at 8-6. Minnesota comes in also at 8-6. This is a big game for both teams. The winner of this game becomes a wild card team, and they'll clinch a wild card spot in the playoffs. Now, for Dallas, not only would they clinch a wild card spot, but they would get to be one game back of the Giants, and they'd be in striking distance of the Giants going into Week 16. If Dallas wins today and wins next week in Pittsburgh, and the Giants were to lose to Minnesota, the Giants play Minnesota next week, then Dallas would win the NFC East on tiebreakers. So the Giants are kind of in a bit of a mini collapse right now. For the Vikings, because Detroit lost earlier today, the Vikings can get a one-game lead over Detroit with a win. The Vikings, if they win, they would clinch a wild card, but they won't be able to clinch the division. Reason being, if the Vikings were to lose next week to who the Vikings play, the Vikings lose next week to the Giants, and then Detroit were to win next week, they'd be tied again, and Detroit would have the tiebreaker. They split head-to-head, but Detroit has the better division record. So just a lot of moving pictures here. But one thing is for sure, the winner of this game does clinch a wild card in the NFC. It's just the seeding that is up in the air. All right, our second game will be the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. And Green Bay is hanging on a thread here. If the Vikings win this game, then the Packers would be eliminated, and that would make the next game irrelevant or whatever. It would be meaningless. But we play them all anyway. All right, let's head out to Minneapolis, Minnesota for this one. Cowboys, Vikings here at Jammin' Sports. Oh, by the way, before we go, Evil Dead is... Where's my card? Here he is. Evil Dead is 116-76, 40 games over 500. Great job, Evil Dead. And he's picking the Vikings in this one. Here we go. Welcome into M&T Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's the Cowboys and the Vikings. And welcome into another NFL broadcast here at Jammin' Sports. We're at U.S. Bank Stadium. I may have misquoted that. Here in Minneapolis. Cowboys at 8-6, the Vikings at 8-6. The winner clinches a wild card spot in the NFC playoffs and gets one step closer to possibly a division title. The loser of this game, they're in trouble. There's the kick. From the 7-yard line, the Vikings get it first. They bring it back. On the return, number 24, Ace Ellington, out to the 29-yard line. Starting quarterback, Jay Foster, in his 4th year out of Michigan. Jimmy Jam with the Evil Dead here with you on this Saturday. Great to have you along here on Jammin' Sports. Our first doubleheader for you today. We'll have a doubleheader for you later on. We're wrapping up Week 15, and then we'll start Week 16 later on tonight. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. This is the Sunday night game here in Week 15. Haven't coughed all day, now I'm coughing. Foster in the shotgun, 1st and 10. Foster looking, throws down the middle, and it's caught. Rondé James down to the 45-yard line. 26 yards for James. The Vikings strike quickly and get downfield against the Cowboys. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Cowboy 45-yard line. Just underway, live from Minneapolis. The Cowboys and the Vikings. A huge game in the NFC when it comes to the playoffs. 4 wide. Foster in the shotgun, 1st and 10. Foster looking, throws underneath, caught. Making the catch this time is Jace Norton in his 3rd year out of Marshall. Picks up 5 out to the 40-yard line. He'll bring up 2nd and 5. Vikings trying to get a 1-game lead on the Lions going into the final week of the season. Cowboys trying to pull to within game of the Giants. On 2nd and 5, Foster throws out to Maffa, breaks a tackle, and Phil Maffa gets something out of nothing as he picks up. Well, actually, he gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Be 3rd and 5. At least he didn't lose any yardage. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 40. 4 wide for the Vikings. Foster in the shotgun. Foster looking. Foster throws. Caught underneath by Maffa. Turns the corner. And Phil Maffa, the rookie out of Clemson, down to the 12-yard line. A gain of 28 yards for Maffa. Their 1st-round draft pick out of Clemson. From College Football 25. 1st down, Minnesota. Jimmy Jam with Evil Dead here with you on this Saturday. We have the Packers and the Bears after this. 4 wide. Foster in the gun. 1st and 10. Foster looking. Foster throws near side. Caught by Norton. And Norton down to the 3. A gain of 9. That's going to bring up 2nd and 1. Nice opening drive by the Vikings so far as they've marched down to the Cowboy 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 1 from the 3. In the I formation. Foster under center. Foster, the pitch to Maffa, and he gets hit in the backfield. And that's going to be a loss of 4 yards. Making a loss of 5. And we have an injury timeout to boot. As Brocious goes to the sideline. He's the right guard, Brent Brocious. 3rd and 6 from the 7, 4 wide. Foster in the shotgun. Big 3rd down for the Vikings. Foster back. Foster throws underneath, caught by Lawson Underwood. A 6-yard gain down to the 1-yard line. That's enough for the 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1. Lawson Underwood, the 10th-year tight end out of Iowa. 1st and goal, Minnesota from the 1. In the offset I. Foster under center. Foster to Maffa. Touchdown, Vikings. And they made it look easy on that opening drive. Just marching down the field. A 1-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings go up 6-0. Nice drive by Minnesota. And now Randy Lloyd will come on for the extra point. Coach not happy. They never are. Lloyd for the PAT. Kick is up. And it's good. And we got a flag on the extra point. I think we have a roughing the kicker. Yep. They'll assess that on the kickoff. The extra point is good. John Harris kind of plowed him over. So the Vikings will kick off from the 50-yard line. They lead at 7-0 as they score on the opening possession of the game. 5:12 remaining here in the first quarter. And I think Zach Young does the kickoff duties for Minnesota. So Dallas will get the ball for the first time. Down 7-0. By the way, if the Cowboys lose, the Giants win the NFC East. Forgot to put that in there. There's the kick out of the end zone, touchback. Dallas came into this week 2 games behind the Giants as Carson Beck comes out, the rookie quarterback out of Georgia. The Giants lost to the Eagles the other day, so they're a game and a half up on the Cowboys. If the Cowboys lose, the Giants are back up by 2 games with 1 game left. So if the Cowboys lose, the Giants win the NFC East. Seattle won the NFC West last night, beating the Cardinals in a close game, 17-14. And Seattle has wrapped up the number 1 seed in the NFC. 1st and 10. Beck. He's going to hand off to Baxter, and Baxter will lose 2 yards. Jim Florence, the linebacker, on the tackle in his 8th year out of Wake Forest. And that'll bring up 2nd and 12. Sam Baxter in his 11th year out of USC. Playoffs starting to take shape. In the AFC, 5 of the 6 playoff teams have been set. It's just a matter of seeding. We'll go over that in a second. 4 wide. Beck in the shotgun on 2nd and 12. Beck looking. Beck throws outside. Caught by Baxter down the sideline. And Baxter down to the 44-yard line. And that'll be a gain of 16 yards. First down, Dallas. In the AFC, the Jets have won the East. The Raiders have won the West. But the Jets and Raiders are both tied with 12-3 records. The Jets at the moment have the tiebreaker. 1st and 10. Beck to Baxter up the middle. And Baxter picks up 5 to the 49-yard line. The Jets have a better conference record than the Raiders. The Steelers have won the Central. The Dolphins have 1 wild card. The Chargers clinched another wild card. There's 1 wild card left. 2nd and 5 from the 49-yard line. Beck under center. Plant in motion. They hand off to Plant on the end around. Gets the first down. And Tom Plant out to the 40-yard line. A gain of 11. and a first down for the Cowboys. There are 4 teams vying for that final wild card spot in the AFC. Buffalo, Cincinnati, the Ravens, and the Broncos. First and 10 from the 40-yard line. Beck looking, throws, caught, coming across. Making the catch, number 82, Nick Stevens, the 6th-year tight end out of Tennessee. A gain of 6 will be 2nd and 4. Of those 4 teams, Buffalo controls their destiny. If Buffalo beats the Raiders later on tonight, then Buffalo is that final wild card, and the other 3 teams would be out. 2nd and 4. Beck looking. Beck throws. Incomplete. Tom Plant, the intended receiver. Of those 4 teams, the Ravens are the one that has to win, and the other 3 teams have to lose. They're on the opposite end. 3rd and 4 from the 34-yard line. Beck in the shotgun. Big 3rd down for Dallas. Beck drops back, looking. Beck throws. Caught by Nick Stevens down to the 22-yard line. A gain of 12 for the big tight end in his 6th year out of Tennessee. First down, Cowboys. Minnesota had a long drive for a touchdown, and now Dallas on their opening possession, driving down the field. First and 10 from the 22-yard line. Both teams trying to clinch a wild card spot here today. The loser of this game, they're in trouble. They throw down the field, incomplete. Jerome Stewart, the intended receiver, not in trouble to the point where they're really in jeopardy, but they would have to win and get some help next week to make the playoffs. 2nd and 10 from the 22-yard line. Beck under center. Beck play action. Looking. Throws near side. Incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10. .224 left to play here in the first quarter. It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Cowboys at the Viking 22-yard line. 4 wide for Dallas. Beck in the shotgun. Beck drops back, steps up, looking, in trouble now, and he got hit. They're going to call that a fumble. Making the sack, Eric Mason, causing the fumble, and it's picked up by Andy Doris, and the Cowboys come up empty on their opening drive as the Vikings force a turnover. They said Beck's arm wasn't going forward. They said it was back. It's a turnover, and the Vikings will get the ball. Evil Dead likes that. He took Minnesota in this one. I mean, how incredible is it for Evil Dead? 40 games over 500. A personal best. His record was, what, 33? He's blown it out of the water. I wonder if he can get to 50 before the game's over, or before the season's over. In the I formation, 1st and 10 Vikings. Foster fakes the handoff, and he's going to get sacked. Back at the 25-yard line, a loss of 8. On the sack, number 57, Evan Greer, the former Buccaneer, in his 10th year out of Oregon State. A loss of 8. It'll be 2nd and 18 for the Vikings back at the 25. Vikings up 7-0. We're coming up on 2 minutes left in the first quarter. On 2nd and 18, Foster in the shotgun. Maffa in motion. Foster looking. It's a blitz. And they nearly got him again. Dallas brought the house. He tried to get the pass out to Norton, but it was incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 18 for the Vikings. Like Dallas brought everybody on that one. On 3rd down, 5 wide, empty backfield. Foster in the shotgun. Foster looking. Foster in trouble now. Rolls out and has to throw it away. The Cowboys brought the pressure and force a 3 and out on the Vikings. The Vikings do not capitalize off the interception, or the fumble, excuse me. It'll be 4th and 18 from the 25-yard line. Zach Young back to punt for Minnesota. Young gets the punt away from the 31-yard line on the return. Number 80, that's Jamal Banks, the rookie out of Nebraska, out to the 38-yard line. 1st and 10, Dallas. .134 left to play here in the first quarter. Vikings up 7-0. Dallas with the ball. They can tie it up on this drive. Four wide for the Cowboys on 1st and 10. Beck in the shotgun, empty backfield. Beck looking. Beck throws underneath. Incomplete. He was trying to get it out to Charlie Marshall, the third-year receiver out of Fresno State. A minute 30 left to play here in the first quarter. Be 2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line. 3 receivers to the far side. Beck in the shotgun. 2nd and 10. Beck drops back. Beck looking, throws down the middle. Caught, no, dropped by Nick Stevens. He heard footsteps of Alex Woodson behind him. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Cowboys at their own 38. Third and 10 for Dallas. Beck in the shotgun. Beck looking. Beck rolls out, in trouble, and he got hit as he threw. Incomplete. The Vikings brought the pressure. Well, this game turning into a defensive game at the moment. It'll be 4th down. The Vikings had a drive for a touchdown, and now it's turning into a defensive slugfest. Mark Erickson back to punt on 4th and 10. Erickson gets the punt away. Fielded at the 12-yard line. And bringing it back is Ace Ellington, the rookie out of Howard, out to the 19-yard line. I was looking at these rosters late last night. I have 57 Ivy Leaguers. That's a bunch. That's more than a little over 2 a team. There's a lot of Ivy Leaguers on these rosters. That's way more than the NFL has in real life. 4 wide, 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Foster under center. Foster hands off to Maffa, and Phil Maffa out to the 21-yard line. A gain, well, they call it a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9. Coming up on a minute left to play here in the first quarter. Vikings up 7-0. The winner clinches a wild card. The loser would have to win next week and get some help. Plus, in the Vikings win, the Giants win the NFC East. 2nd and 9 from the 21-yard line. 5 wide. Foster in the shotgun. Foster back. Throws. And caught by Maffa out to the 33-yard line. A gain of 12 and a 1st down for Minnesota. It's ironic that the Giants would be rooting for the Vikings in this game, and then they play the Vikings next week. Root for them 1 week, play against them the next. 1st and 10 from the 33. We're down to 22 seconds. Foster rolls out. Pressure is there, and he manages to get the pass off. Incomplete. That'll stop the clock. 18 seconds left. Dallas just like blitzing on every play, it seems like. 2nd and 10 from the 33. 4 wide for the Vikings. Foster in the shotgun. 2nd and 10. Foster looking. Foster throws, and it's knocked down. Wesley Keaton knocked it down, the 11th year defensive back out of Missouri. And that'll stop the clock with 15 seconds left here in the first quarter. And bring up 3rd and 10 for Minnesota at their own 33. 4 wide for the Vikings. Foster back. Foster looking. Foster steps up. He's going to take off. And Foster picks up the 1st down. Jay Foster, the 4th-year quarterback, gets the 1st down with his feet. That's the end of the first quarter. Vikings up 7-0 here at Jammin' Sports. Welcome back to U.S. Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Our Week 15 Sunday night game. Vikings lead the Cowboys 7-0. First and 10 from the 44. Foster throws incomplete. That'll bring up second and 10. The winner clinches a wild card. A lot at stake here tonight. And the Vikings get one step closer to a division title if they win as well. On second and 10, Foster back. A blitz, another blitz by Dallas. They're just blitzing left and right. A loss of 9. They get the sack back at the 35-yard line. Number 92, Tyler Hackett, in his 10th year at a Citadel on the sack. I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. Dallas is like blitzing on almost every play. It's working, though. It'll be 3rd and 19 for the Vikings, back at their own 35. They lead at 7-0. Vikings come out 4 wide, single back. Foster in the shotgun. Foster looking. Throws deep downfield, wide open. Making the catch, Rondé James down to the Dallas 33-yard line. 28 yards. First down, Minnesota. I mean, he was wide open. He found an opening, a seam in the zone, and worked it to perfection. 28 yards, first down, Minnesota at the Dallas 33. Evil Dead's got to like that. 5 wide, empty backfield. Foster in the shotgun. First and 10. Foster looking. Foster throws underneath, and that's caught by John Mills down to the 25, a gain of 8. Mills in his 3rd year at a UNLV. .645 and counting. Here in the first half, Vikings trying to make it a 2-score game. In the offset eye, Foster looking. Foster throws near side, and it's caught by Norton out to the 18. A gain of 7. That'll be enough for the first down. First down, Minnesota at the Dallas 18-yard line. 6.5 minutes left here in the first half. 4 wide. Foster in the gun. Single back. Moffitt in the backfield. Foster throws inside to Norton down to the 14-yard line. Jace Norton in his 3rd year out of Marshall. A gain of 4. Be 2nd and 6 from the 14-yard line. Vikings come out in the offset eye on 2nd down. Foster drops back, throws outside. It's knocked down. Evan Greer, the linebacker, knocks it down. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 14-yard line. 5:53 left in the half. Big 3rd down for the Vikings. They're in field goal range, though. Foster in the shotgun on 3rd down. Foster draws back. Foster looking. In trouble. And Foster breaks. Nope, he gets sacked. Back at the 21. A loss of 7 yards. Tyler Hackett on the sack. That'll bring up 4th down. And the Vikings will have to kick a field goal. It'll still put them up by 2 scores. Randy Lloyd will come on. This will be a 38-yard field goal attempt to put the Vikings up by 10. So Randy Lloyd in his 3rd year out of Utah State. The kick is up and good. Vikings lead it 10-0. Vikings off to a fast start. A 2-possession lead on the Cowboys with 5:22 left to play here in the first half. Live from U.S. Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Our Week 15 Sunday night game here at Jammin' Sports. We'll have the Monday night game next. And now the kickoff. from the 4-yard line on the return. Bringing it back, number 28. That's for Dallas. That's Daryl Porter, the rookie out of Miami, out to the 27-yard line. And that's where Dallas will have it, 1st and 10. 5:18 left here in the first half. If the Vikings win, it eliminates Green Bay. And Green Bay plays Chicago next. 4 wide, 1st and 10. Beck in the shotgun. The Packers would have to win and get some help anyway. Baxter inside the 30, and Baxter out to the 35-yard line. A gain of 8. And that'll bring up 2nd and 2. Coming up on 5 minutes left in the first half. 2nd and 2 for Dallas at their own 35. Beck under center, single back in the backfield. Beck hands off to Baxter, and Baxter gets nailed by number 55, Ty Martin, the 7th-year linebacker out of Tennessee. One of the Martin triplets. His brothers, Zach, plays for Houston, and Ryan plays for New England. All 3 of them are linebackers. 3rd and 2 from the 35-yard line. 4 wide. Beck in the shotgun. Beck looking. Beck throws, and it's dropped. Plant dropped it. How many times have I said that? Never. Tom Plant actually dropped the pass. The 11th-year receiver out of Texas Christian. And that'll bring up 4th and 2. He's usually clutch. Mark Erickson back to punt on 4th down for Dallas. Erickson bobbles it, but gets it away. From the 16-yard line, on the return is Ellington. And Ace Ellington brings it back out as he returns it to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. 4:14 left to play here in the first half. They're up 10-0. Minnesota can make this a 3-possession game on this drive. Dallas's defense has played pretty well. Their offense, not so much. In the I formation, Foster under center. Foster looking. Throws, and it's nearly picked off. Evan Greer, the linebacker. Oh, my goodness. That would have set up Dallas big time. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. 4:10 remaining here in the half. He may have scored on that one. 5 wide, empty backfield. Foster in the shotgun. 2nd and 10. Foster looking, throws underneath, caught by Norton, out to the 35, a gain of 8, and that'll bring up 3rd and 2. Under 4 minutes left to play here in the first half. Vikings up 10-0. 4 wide for Minnesota. Foster in the shotgun. Foster throws, and it's caught by Lawson Underwood. A 6-yard gain out to the 41, and that'll be a Viking first down. The big tight end, he's clutch. First down, Vikings. Vikings come out, 4 wide, single back. Foster in the gun, 1st and 10. Foster hands off to Maffa, and Maffa to the 42-yard line. A gain of just a yard to be 2nd and 9. Kerry Roll, the linebacker, on the tackle in his 9th year out of UTEP. We're coming up on 3 minutes left to play here in the first half. Second and 9 for the Vikings. They come out 4 wide. Foster in the shotgun. Foster to Maffa, and Maffa over midfield into Cowboy territory, down to the 43-yard line. A gain of 15 to the Cowboy 43. First down, Minnesota. Finally making the tackle, Greg Phillips, the safety, in his 8th year out of Kentucky. 2.5 minutes left here in the first half. Vikings now at the Cowboy 43 in the offset eye. Foster to Maffa. And Maffa back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Carry roll on the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 10. The first half of our first doubleheader for you today. A doubleheader this afternoon, and we'll have one later on this evening. We're finishing up week 15 this afternoon. We'll start week 16 tonight. 2-minute warning here in the first half. Vikings lead it by a score of 10-0 over the Cowboys. Here at US Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota, our week 15 Sunday night game. 2nd and 10, 5 wide. Foster back. Foster throws. Caught underneath by Maffa. Out to the 34-yard line. A gain of 9. That's going to bring up 3rd and 1. 1:45 and counting. 3rd and 1 from the Cowboy 34-yard line. 4 wide. Foster draws back. Foster looking. Throws. Caught by Maffa down to the 32. A gain of 2. First down, Minnesota. Long time consuming drive for the Vikings. They would love to get a touchdown, make it a 3-possession game. 4 wide. Foster in the gun. 1st and 10. Foster throws underneath. Jace Norton makes the catch. Down to the 25. A gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. And the Vikings take a timeout with 46 seconds left here in the first half. Vikings have dominated the first half. In a game that both teams really need to have. I expected a little bit more out of the Cowboys. 4 wide. Foster in the gun. 2nd and 4 from the 25-yard line. Foster draws back. Throws. Coming across. Incomplete. John Mills couldn't hold on. And that'll bring up 3rd down. Third and 4 for the Vikings at the Dallas 25-yard line. 44 seconds left to play here in the half. 4 wide on 3rd down. Now they shift. Foster now under center. Everybody draws in closer. Foster looking. Throws down the middle. And it's incomplete. Looking for Norton. It was broken up by Greg Phillips, the safety. It'll be 4th down. Randy Lloyd will come on. A 42-yard field goal attempt to put the Vikings up by 13. Keeps it a 2-score. Snap, kick is up. And the kick is good. But a flag is down. Oh, they roughed the kicker again. Well, do you take the points off the board? That's a tough call. I think the Vikings, they're going to take the points off the board and try and get a touchdown. That's a tough call sometimes. 1st and 10 from the Cowboy 13-yard line. 36 seconds left in the half. Minnesota with 2 timeouts. So it remains 10-0. Foster in the shotgun, 1st and 10. Foster looking, throws near side. Caught by Underwood. Back to the line of scrimmage, no gain. And the Vikings take a timeout. They have 1 left. As we're down to 31 seconds left in the half. Second, actually they lost a yard. 2nd and 11. Back at the 13-yard line. 4 wide for the Vikings. Foster in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Throws underneath. Caught by Underwood. Picks up 3 down to the 10-yard line. Make it a 4-yard gain. Be 3rd and 7. Vikings, they'll probably just kick a field goal. They're going to wind this down and call a timeout. They call a timeout with 7 seconds left. And now they'll come on and kick the field goal. This will be a 27-yard attempt now by Randy Lloyd. Oh, they're going for it. They don't have any timeouts. They got to go to the end zone. 7 seconds, risky call. Foster looking. Foster throws. Incomplete. Through at the back of the end zone. But there's 3 seconds left. Well, at least they were smart. Throw it to the end zone or just throw it away. Now they can kick the field goal with 3 seconds left. Randy Lloyd comes on from 27 yards. The kick is up, and it's good. Vikings lead it now 13-0. 1 second left to play. So the Vikings will kick off. The Vikings defense has shut out Dallas here in the first half. And now Zach Young will kick. They'll probably kick it out of the end zone. Touchback. Don't want to risk a return. And now, with 1 second left, Dallas will have it 1st and 10 from their own 30. Let's see what the Cowboys do. Down 13-0. They might just chuck it down the field here. Yep, 3 receivers to the near side. Beck in the shotgun. Beck looking. Beck, he's going to throw it deep downfield, hoping for the best. Incomplete. Halftime. Halftime score, the Vikings 13, the Cowboys nothing. Here at Jammin' Sports. And welcome back to U.S. Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. We go to the second half. The Cowboys will get the second half kickoff, down 13-0. It'll be fielded at the 7-yard line. Bringing it back for Dallas is Darryl Porter, and he brings it out to the 27-yard line. So the Cowboys with a chance now to cut into the lead as they get the ball first here in the third quarter. They'll start their own 27. Carson Beck, the rookie quarterback out of Georgia. Let's see what the Cowboys can do here. See what adjustments they make at halftime. Beck in the shotgun, 1st and 10. Beck hands off to Baxter, and Baxter gets taken down. No gain. On the tackle, Stan King, 4th-year linebacker out of Tennessee. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10. In the offset eye, Beck under center. Beck to Baxter around the outside, and Baxter gets positive yardage out to the 31-yard line. A gain of 5. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for the Cowboys. Opening possession. Here in the third quarter. 3rd and 5 from the 31-yard line. Beck in the shotgun. Beck looking. Beck throws downfield. Caught. Nope, incomplete. Could not hang on. Trying to hit Baxter out of the backfield. Cowboys go 3 and out. to start the second half. Viking defense playing very aggressive. Mark Erickson back to punt on 4th down. Erickson gets the punt away. Fielded at the 25-yard line. Bringing it back is Ace Ellington out to the 34-yard line. And now Jay Foster comes out. His stats on the day so far. The winner of this game clinches a wild card. If it's the Vikings, if the Vikings win, the Giants win the NFC East. First and 10, Minnesota. They come out 4 wide. Foster under center. Foster fakes the handoff. Looking, in trouble. He's going to take off. And Foster breaks a tackle across midfield out to the 48-yard line. A gain of 18 yards. And a first down for the Vikings into Cowboy territory. Jimmy Jam with Evil Dead on this Saturday. The first half of our first doubleheader for you today. First and 10 from the 48. 4 wide for the Vikings. Foster under center. Foster draws back. Throws down the middle. Caught by Rondé James out to the 40-yard line. A gain of 8. And that'll bring up 2nd and 2. Rondé James in his 3rd year out of Arizona. 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Vikings up 13-0. 4 wide on 2nd and 2. Foster fakes the handoff, throws, dumps it off to Moffa. And Moffa turns upfield, gets out to the 39. A gain of just a yard. Kerry Rule, the linebacker, on the tackle. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 1 for Minnesota. As much as Minnesota's dominated, the Cowboys are lucky they're only down 13-0. 4 wide, 3rd and 1. Foster in the shotgun. Foster draws back, throws underneath, and Norton made the catch at the 34. A gain of 5. First down, Vikings. Clock continues to tick. We're down to 5 minutes left to play here in the 3rd quarter. First and 10. Foster in the shotgun. Foster back. Foster throws downfield. Incomplete. Knocked down by Aaron Jefferson, the 11th year defensive back out of Alabama. The intended receiver was John Mills. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10. 4:53 left in the 3rd. 2nd and 10 from the Cowboy 34-yard line. Foster in the shotgun. Hands off to Moffa. And Moffa 4 yards down to the 30-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and 6. So big 3rd down coming up for Minnesota. Four wide. Foster in the shotgun. Foster looking. Foster rolls out, throws. Caught in the flat. Nope, incomplete. Moffa can't hold on. As he took a shot, trying to see who it was. It was Kerry Rule, the linebacker, who knocked the ball away. And now Randy Lloyd will come on. This will be a 47-yard field goal. It'll put the Vikings up 16-0. It'll keep it a 2-score game. So Lloyd from 46, the kick is up and good. From 47, actually. He nailed it. Vikings lead it 16-0. 4:19 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Live from US Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Our Week 15 Sunday night game here at Jammin' Sports. It's been all Vikings, but Dallas is still hanging around, only down by 2 possessions. There's the kickoff from the 7-yard line. On the return is Porter. And Darrell Porter out to the 27-yard line. First down, Cowboys. 4:16 left to play here in the third quarter. I think between games I'm going to reset my internet. One of my laptops is acting funny. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Carson Beck in the shotgun. 1st and 10. Beck looking. Beck throws underneath. Caught by Marshall. And Charlie Marshall picks up 6 out to the 33-yard line. And that'll bring up 2nd and 4. Under 4 minutes left now in the third quarter. 3 receivers off to the far side. Beck in the shotgun on 2nd down. Beck throws out to Baxter, turns upfield, and Baxter fighting for yardage gets out to the 37. A gain of 3. It's going to bring up 3rd and inches. So big third down coming up for Dallas. 3:28 and counting. In the I formation, Beck under center. Beck to Baxter. And Baxter gets outside, picks up the first down. 3 yards out to the 40-yard line. First down, Dallas. As we're coming up on 3 minutes left to play here in the third quarter, Vikings up 16-0. Cowboys come out, single back. Beck under center. 1st and 10. Hands off to Baxter. And Baxter 3 yards out to the 43. And that'll bring up 2nd and 7. .235 and counting. Second and 7 for Dallas. Beck under center. In the offset I. Hands off to Baxter again. And Baxter picks up 2 to the 45-yard line. Coming up to make the tackle, number 20, Jeremy Bell, the defensive back in his 8th year out of Alabama. 3rd and 5 from the 45 now for Dallas. Their own 45. 2:10 and counting here in the third. Dallas trying to get back in this game. 4 wide. Beck in the shotgun. 3rd and 5. Beck looking. Throws. Gets it out to Nick Stevens, the tight end. And that'll be a gain of 8 out to the 47-yard line. First down, Dallas into Viking territory. 1:45 and counting here in the third quarter. In the I formation. On 1st and 10. Beck to Baxter. No, he fakes it. Looking. Steps up. And he's going to throw and throw it away. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Couldn't find a receiver open, so he just did the smart thing. Threw it away. 1:27 left here in the third. Four wide for the Cowboys. Beck in the shotgun. 2nd and 10. Beck throws and underneath to Charlie Marshall to the 45-yard line. A gain of 2. Stan King, the linebacker, on the tackle. Bring up 3rd and 8. So we got a big third down coming up for Dallas here. .110 and counting. Beck in the shotgun on 3rd down. Beck draws back. It's a blitz. Gets it out to Baxter. Down the sideline. Picks up the first down. Out of bounds at the 33. A gain of 12 on the swing pass to Sam Baxter. First down, Cowboys. Under a minute left. Here in the third, 56 seconds. 4 wide for Dallas. Beck draws back. In trouble now. Looking. throws down the sideline, incomplete, threw it away. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. 40 seconds left to play in the half. Or in the third quarter, excuse me. 2nd and 10 from the Viking 33-yard line. 4 receivers set wide. Beck looking. Dumps it off to Baxter. Down to the 26, a gain of 7. Jeremy Bell came up and made the tackle. And that'll bring up 3rd and 3. "21 seconds left. Third quarter coming to a close. In the offset eye, 3rd and 3. Beck to the up back. They hand it off to Terry Cobbs. And Cobbs, the fullback, picks up 3. And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. Vikings up 16-0 here at Jammin' Sports. Welcome back to U.S. Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. We start the fourth quarter. 1st and 10, Cowboys at the Viking 23. Beck back to throw. Beck looking, throws, and it's caught down the middle by Tom Plant. A 15-yard gain down to the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. Cowboys trying to get back in the game. They're down 16-0. They need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. 1st and goal from the 8. Cowboys come out 4 wide. Beck in the shotgun. Beck to Baxter. Inside, and Baxter's in for the touchdown. An 8-yard touchdown run by Sam Baxter. And the Cowboys draw to within 10. It's now 16-6. Gaming Reels is in the house. Good to see you, Gaming. 2 nights in a row, or 2 days in a row. I don't know how to act. Dallas will go for 2 to make it an 8-point game. Beck under center. The 2-point try. Beck looking. Throws. He got hit as he threw. Incomplete. It remains a 10-point game. Vikings up 16-6. 7:31 left. That's huge. It keeps it a 2-score game. Once again, the winner of this game will clinch a wild card in the NFC. Also, if the Vikings win, the Giants become the NFC East champions. Yep, Cowboys need quick stops is right, Gaming Reels. Good to see Gaming Reels 2 days in a row. I like it. He's one of the cool ones. Cooper Nelson will kick off. From the 7-yard line on the return, this is Luke Joyner in his second year out of Virginia Tech out to the 30-yard line. What the Vikings need now is a time-consuming drive. They need to eat up some time. They still lead it by 10, 16-6 over the Cowboys. We have the Packers and the Bears up next. We'll be in Chicago for that. If the Vikings win, it eliminates the Packers. So the next game could be meaningless. They hand off to Maffa. Maffa out to the 37-yard line. A gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. The Bears have already been eliminated. But we play all the games. After the Packers and the Bears, we'll take a break and then come back for another doubleheader later on, as we'll start Week 16. Foster looking. He got hit as he threw. Incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd and 4. I hope Gaming Reels is doing all right today. Evil Dead's here as well. .6:59 left in regulation. 3rd and 4. Foster on the shotgun. Big 3rd down here. Foster back. Sets up a screen pass to Maffa. Picks up the 1st down. Out to the 41-yard line. A gain of 6. 1st down, Minnesota. That's big. Now the Vikings can eat up some time. 6:37 and counting. 4 wide for the Vikings. Foster in the shotgun. 1st and 10. Foster throws underneath. Caught by Moffa out of the backfield. No, that's not Moffa. Jace Norton out to the 47-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 12. Down to the Dallas 47. Another Viking first down. And now the Vikings can eat up more time. On 1st and 10. Foster looking. Foster throws. Incomplete. They're looking for Jace Norton. It was broken up by Darryl Porter, the rookie out of Miami. That'll stop the clock. 6:01 left in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings at the Cowboy 47-yard line. 4 wide for Minnesota. Foster in the shotgun. Foster draws back. Throws underneath. Caught by Norton again. 6 yards to the 41. It'll be 3rd and 4. .5:45 and counting. Vikings are eating up valuable time that the Cowboys need. The Cowboys need a stop. 3rd and 4. Foster in the shotgun. Foster back. Sets up a screen pass to Moffa. Turns upfield. Gets another first down. Down to the 37-yard line. A gain of 4. Just enough. First down, Minnesota. Coming up to make the tackle, Greg Phillips, the safety. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Now the Vikings can eat up more time. 1st and 10. James in motion. They hand off to Moffa on the misdirection. Right up the middle, and Moffa down to the 27, a gain of 10. Another Viking first down. Under 5 minutes left. Minnesota on the move. Up 16-6. In the offset eye. Foster under center. 1st and 10. Foster throws down the middle. And that's caught by Lawson Underwood, the tight end, down to the 10-yard line. A gain of 17. First down, Minnesota. Are they outside the 10 or inside the 10? That's 1st and goal right there. 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Yep, Dallas just can't seem to stop him. Foster looking, throws underneath. Rondé James, touchdown. A 10-yard touchdown catch by Rondé James. In his 3rd year out of Arizona. And the Vikings go up now 22-6. And the extra point will make it a 3-possession game. They'll be up by 17. And that may do that. That may do it for the Vikings. You're absolutely right. Carved them up on that drive. Now Randy Lloyd for the extra point. Kick is up and good. Vikings up by 17, a 3-possession game. With 4:11 left. And the New York Giants are 4 minutes and 11 seconds away from wrapping up the NFC East title. Dallas would stay 2 games behind the Giants with 1 game to go, so the Giants would wrap up the division. There's the kickoff from the 5-yard line. On the return, Darryl Porter, and Porter brings it out to the 29. That's where Dallas would take over. We have the Packers and the Bears up next. It'll be our Week 15 Monday night game. Then we will take a break, and we'll be back at 7 o'clock Eastern with another doubleheader. We're wrapping up Week 15 this afternoon and starting Week 16 tonight. 1st and 10 from the 29. Beck throws. Caught by Jerome Stewart down to the 39, a gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and inches. Under 4 minutes left to play. Vikings up by 17. Minnesota has really dominated this game. Dallas in the no huddle already. 4 wide. Beck drops back. Throws outside. Caught by Charlie Marshall out to the 50-yard line. A gain of 11. First down, Cowboys. Gets out of bounds, stops the clock, 3:38 left. I don't think Dallas has enough time. They may score again, but they're not going to win this game. Beck in the shotgun, 4 wide, 1st and 10. Beck looking. Beck rolls out, throws, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. And the Viking win puts Minnesota in the playoffs. They will be a wild card. And now Minnesota can still win the division. All they have to do is beat the Giants next week, or Detroit has to lose next week. I think Detroit plays the Bears. On 2nd and 10, incomplete. Who does the Lions play next week? Yeah, they play the Bears. They host the Bears. 3rd and 10 from the 50-yard line, 4 wide. Beck in the shotgun. 3.5 minutes left. Beck drops back. Beck looking. He's going to throw it deep. Going for broke. And pops up in the air several times. Incomplete. Breaking up the pass intended for Charlie Marshall was number 25, Lawrence Burnside, the 4th-year safety out of BYU. Nice play by Burnside. 4th and 10. Cowboys going for it. They kind of have to. 4th and 10 for the 50-yard line. Beck looking. Beck throws deep. And it's caught. Tom Plant catches it at the 12. A 38-yard catch, and he took a hit. A 38-yard catch by Plant. 1st and 10 Dallas at the Viking 12. Under 3 minutes left. Beck drops back. Throws to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Charlie Marshall in the back of the end zone. A 12-yard touchdown catch. And that's going to make it a 2-score game again. It's now 23-12. Vikings up by 11. Dallas will kick the extra point here. Make it a 10-point game. So Cooper Nelson will come on for the PAT. Snap, kick is up, and it's good. Vikings lead at 23-13. And you're right, Gaming Reels. They've got to go for the onside now. They're still down by 10. It's still a 2-score game with 2:53 left. I'm sure they'll line up for the onside kick right here, as you pointed out. I'm going to reset the internet between games. So between games will be about 10 minutes. And then we'll have the Packers and the Bears. So just bear with me on that. No pun intended. Here's the onside kick by Cooper Nelson. A slow roller that's picked up at the 50-yard line. Recovering the onside kick for the Vikings is John Mills. And he brings it back to the Cowboy 47-yard line. Well, Dallas has to force a 3-and-out here. It was a nice attempt, but you're right. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line, 2:50 left. Vikings come out, 4 wide. Foster under center. Foster hands off to Maffa, and Maffa a big gain, 7 yards out to the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 3. Yeah, the Purple People Eaters showed up today for you, Evil Dead. Evil Dead's going to be 117-76. He's going to be 41 games over 500. Coming up on the 2-minute warning here. On 2nd and 3. They're going to wind this down as far as they can go. Foster to Maffa. And Maffa picks up 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 1. And that's the 2-minute warning here from US Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Our Week 15 Sunday night game here at Jammin' Sports. Vikings up 23-13. 3rd and 1. They come out in the eye. Foster to Maffa. And Maffa close. He's got the first down. And now Dallas is going to have to start using timeouts. It's about a 3.5 yard gain. Yep, bye-bye Dallas. Now Dallas is still alive in the playoff picture. They're going to drop to 8 and 7, but they're going to need some help. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line in the offset eye. Foster to Maffa. Maffa out to the 31, a gain of 5 to be 2nd and 5. And congratulations to the Vikings. They have clinched at least a wild card. All they have to do is win next week, and they're NFC Central champions, or Detroit has to lose next week. Detroit, though, has the easier game. If the Lions and the Vikings end up tied, the Lions have the tiebreaker. Better divisional record. 2nd and 5 from the 31 in the offset eye. The handoff to Maffa, and Maffa picks up the first down. Down to the 19-yard line, a gain of 12. Dallas will use their final timeout. The Vikings will go to 9 and 6, and they will be in the playoffs, either as division champs or a wild card. 1st and 10 from the 19 in the victory formation. Foster takes a knee. Evil Dead has just been on a roll. 117 and 76. On 2nd and 11. In the I formation, they're going to run a play this time. They hand off to Maffa. Maffa will lose 2 yards. On the tackle, Tyler Hackett, the defensive tackle. Yeah, come join us in Cancun. Well, the Cowboys are not eliminated. They're still alive. 3rd and 13. Let's see. This is going to tick under 40 seconds. In the victory formation. Foster takes a knee. Let's see if they kick the field goal. They don't have to. They can run out the clock. But they might. Sometimes they go ahead and kick the field goal. They're going to line up for one. This will be from 40 yards. Randy Lloyd, as time expires, the kick is up. And it's good. Your final score, Minnesota 26, Dallas 13. Thanks for watching here at Jammin' Sports. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the Packers and the Bears. We'll see you then.